Without staff, we wouldn't be able to do what we do for our community, for our programs. Programs are vitally important. No programs, no staff, no community. There is no service. The Preston site is used for family counselling services and also for the Healthy Lifestyles team here and AO&D, so drugs and alcohol.
What we're doing is working to improve outcomes for Aboriginal clients across our 5 organisations and trying to really improve their journey so that they don't have to tell their story so many times. So when a client comes into our organisation, how do we support that client to meet their need? How do we get them to feel safe when they come in initially? And when they do come in, how do we make sure that they are able to identify what their needs are and put them through to the right programs and through to the programs that help them to meet their needs. One of the exciting things that we've done this year is training. So we've actually developed a very unique training model which is specifically for our community, for our staff. 20 staff across the 5 organisations, and it's an accredited course. So they get an accreditation into a Cert 3, a Cert 4 or diploma into community services and Aboriginal coordinated care.
This program's really unique in VAHS because it has a preventative health focus. Yeah, so we're looking at the person before they get unwell and we're saying, oh, what can we do to maintain this person's health? What can we do to extend this person's life expectancy? How do we prevent them from getting chronic disease? You know, how do we get them to enjoy their life more? How do we get them to engage socially? How do we get them to reconnect to community? Our most successful campaign has been the VAHS Smoke-Free Tram that we did with Quit. So we highlighted 7 role models and they told their Quit stories, and the tram ran along the 86 line into the northern suburbs where a lot of our community lives, down Gertrude Street. You know, everyone's seen the tram, and there's an overwhelming sense of pride and connection to the tram and the messages and stuff like that. On
top of that, we actually applied for Vic Health Awards for health promotion. We're a finalist. 3, 2, 1.
So we've entered a few fun run events. One was the Melbourne Marathon where we had 6 Aboriginal people participate in the full marathon, and we had 100 community members participate, and we're like, oh, we've got all this momentum, so we decided to influence our own fun run. And for that event we had about 300 community members, and that was a Northern Health Community Fun Run. Just an awesome turnout. You know, it's a real deadly day. We had all Aboriginal entertainment, welcome to country, Aboriginal MC, so you know, that was a real highlight for our team this year.
The Family Counselling Service is one of the biggest service areas within VAHS, and we have services across 4 areas. Mainly, we're about supporting clients and patients with social and emotional wellbeing issues right across the spectrum of social and emotional wellbeing and drug and alcohol issues and acute mental health issues. One of the things we're most proud of is being part of a new service called Wudamba Willem, which is a Wurundjeri word meaning renew shelter, where we've been able to provide a lot more intensive support for our community in the Darebin and Whittlesea area who are homeless and have social and emotional wellbeing issues, mental health issues, drug and alcohol issues. So we're working with 30 people, mainly young people under 25, and not surprisingly, a lot of the issues are around ICE, and we've actually been able to support a lot of those clients into housing. Some of the highlights of this year are our new detox support position, being able to have 2 prioritised detox beds for Aboriginal people, to be able to have a new intensive support service for people who are homeless with mental health issues.
So Bunjawara is a youth rehab service, so youth healing service for drugs and alcohol. Average, I think the ages are between 16 and 25 for 12 people, both men and women, boys and girls, to come down to the service. And we were successful with VAHS to get that up and running. So that's to help with the issues with kids at the moment. You must have detox to get in, and we've got an arrangement with VAHS to get you into detox if we have to, and then we'll mob match to make sure that you have the right person to go into the service. So we can only take 12 kids at a time. It makes it hard because it is the only one of its type in Victoria, so it makes it really, really hard.
We were able to achieve some funding through the first year of Close the Gap, which enabled us to re-establish Maya Healing Centre as Minanjaku, and started with some women's healing programs and some men's healing programs, and it provides a really important role for many people who may not want to access counselling to be supported in groups and to feel connected to community. Another really exciting thing we've been able to do on top of our day-to-day service delivery work has been a trauma education project. We got a one-off fund from the National Healing Foundation, and we were able to provide a series of training and professional development workshops to VAHS staff and other organisations and community members to build our understanding around trauma. Most recently we had a launch of some new parenting support materials, and that was a real highlight of the year.
We're a small unit, we've got 3 staff, and our role is to work with local Aboriginal men on their health needs. We really are about no specific charter, but more about what do our local men want in terms of their health. And if they come and see us, or if we find out other ways about the needs, we'll endeavour to do our best to work and support that Aboriginal guy. But it's also about their cultural wellbeing and more likely their emotional and spiritual wellbeing. It's also about working with guys to help find their place and our purpose in our families, in our communities, and to be able to regain our positive role in them groups. All men aren't big attenders of health services, and we encourage men to go and get a health check. It's just so important that you find the time, 40 minutes, make an appointment at VAHS. We'll help you get there, anything we can do, but come and get a health check. And when you get the health check, also talk to the GP or come and talk to the men's unit about the more specific health tests that men do require. Not only is it about our blood pressure and our heart and our lungs and all that, it's also about specific men's health issues, which we're quite happy to chat to men about, which can be prevented if we get in there and check them early.
VAHS in Nicholson Street is the dental service, also doctors, nurses, Aboriginal health workers. We have our hack team down there with Denise McGuinness.
We run gentle gym and hydrotherapy. Diabetes used to run once a month. Now it runs every fortnight, and that's one of our biggest programs. Gentle Gym runs at Plenty Road site with the Healthy Lifestyle team, and each high-end has their own individual program, because everyone's needs are different, and so we cater for their individual needs. The hydro is run with the physiotherapists and the Aboriginal health workers, and after the session's finished, they're given a healthy lunch and transport home. With all our programs, we have the active service model approach, and that's right across Australia through HAC, and it's working with the client, not for the client, and enabling the client.
The highlights this year have been we've finally got a dental-friendly software program. So it just means that once you've taken an X-ray, there's no processing in the middle. It's from the mouth to the computer. That's it. Our role to the community is to deliver education around oral hygiene and how important it is in your overall health. In our unit we have a team that consists of 10 people. I've got 3 trainee dental assistants. We have a visiting oral surgeon that comes once a month to do difficult extractions, minor surgeries and anything else that the dentists are not comfortable with doing. We also provide some training with kindergartens, schools, high schools and other community groups. We also have prisons that attend VAHS. Indigenous women that want to come here prefer to come here than go elsewhere outside. And the other highlight would be that I've had 2 trainees qualify, so they're now fully qualified Indigenous dental assistants.
Just the 3 main ones for the past 12 months has been the AGPAL re-accreditation. What that says is that we perform medical services to the highest standards, those particular standards that you'd find anywhere else in Australia. So it's a pretty good award to get, and we're happy for it. The other things would be employment finally of a practice nurse in the sense of specifically for care planning, so care planning coordination, so management of people's care plans, people that have been diagnosed with an acute chronic disease. So that's the follow-up, the referrals through to allied health to make sure that goes through, appointment based with GPs and that to manage that whole, it takes the load off the GPs, and this particular position does that. In line with that, we're doing appointment based Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health checks for our Torres Strait Islanders out there as well. And it's appointment based as opposed to what we did previously, which was opportunistic outreach and that, so it's a lot more structured, where the patient will see a health worker initially for about 20 to 30 minutes, and they'll be handed on to the GP, and it's a completed assessment. There's already been some great successes with that as well. Some of the things that have been picked up that may not have been done in a normal consultation, or not until it became evident and they presented acutely.
In women and children's area, we have the career maternity program. We also have an MCH, maternal child health nurse. We have 2 workers in in-home support, Healthy for Life that works across medical. We have visiting gynae, visiting Australian Hearing, visiting eye and ear hospital, and a paediatric service. And our highlights have been, we're into our 5th year of paediatric registrars. This year we employed 2 paediatric consultants. We continue with the eye and ear hospital. Playgroups commence with in-home support. A 10-week swimming program, working on a disability group. We continue to do parenting groups, and we've commenced adult and child health checks and working along with medical.
We've got other services down there, financial counselling service as well. Administration, obviously, where I sit in, and also the accounts team as well, so finances are run out of there as well. And we also, right up the far end, we have our transport team, and they provide service to anybody within a 30k radius of VAHS to transport people in and out to appointments. Without staff, without the community, more importantly, there would be no VAHS, there wouldn't be the services that people are getting every day. And to the board that guide us along the way, they also get the feedback from the community when I'm not doing my job and when somebody else isn't doing it. If we don't get that information back to me, then we can't improve service. The big anniversary for the 40th was probably the big one for me. So we had a family day just before I started, which we had around about 200 to 300 people, if not more. And then to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the service in general was just fantastic at the dinner down at South Wharf. Having 600 guests turn up to hear Uncle Gary Foley speak as a founding member of VAHS, and to Gary, to Auntie Elma, to Uncle Bruce, for starting VAHS, and all those associated with it in the start. It's been fantastic. Without them, we don't have what we've got today. So to see where Aboriginal health services had come from, especially in Victoria, was really special. And the fact that we have 27 Aboriginal health services here in Victoria, and we happen to be what they call a mothership, is just fantastic. So from, like they say, little things, big things grow. Well, we're now a big thing, and we've got to continue to grow, but we've also got to take on board what the community want and what they need.